Welcome to the latest installment of the Run to Daylight podcast. Once again with my often partner, Billy Muzio. Last minute, Sunday, Father's Day, we decided to take on the Rotoviz boys. And I think what it is, what my concept for this is they're going to be doing a stream. We're going to be doing a stream. They've got a certain style that they tend to adhere to. It's zero running back. So I want to show how you can counter program that. And it just so happened we ended up going next to them. Neither Billy or I has anything against zero running back. I hope that there's 3 or 4 other people doing zero running back, so that it makes counter programming that strategy, and also just giving our way, the way that Billy and I think and do a draft versus the way that they do it. And you guys, as we often do, what we want is you guys to decide what's best for you. I made a post today about zero running back isn't a religion, shouldn't be treated as a religion either by disciples, or it shouldn't be treated poorly by those who don't believe in it. Zero running back is a very good strategy. I used it mostly last night, more modified with Dobbins in the 3rd round. But what you don't want to do, to me, is to force it. So I think zero running back becomes polarizing rather than a strategy that you incorporate when the draft board makes it to you. That's my view. Billy, your thoughts on that?
I'm not a big zero running back guy. If I am going to go that route, I'm more of a modified zero running back. I do like getting one of the top tier running backs on my team before I hit the wide receiver position hard or the tight end position hard. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think there's a lot of different strategies in fantasy football. As the saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one way to win a championship.
As long as the cat gets skinned, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so
as long as you've got that sucker without his fur,
as long as you're winning the gold, I think however you build your roster, as long as there is some sort of strategy behind it, as long as you're looking at it in a logical fashion and you're looking at it in terms of building a roster with some sort of structure, whether that's zero running back or that's running back heavy or modified zero running back, however it is, as long as you're approaching this draft in a draft with structure, I'm fine with however you're doing it.
Yep. And this is brought to you by our friends at the FFPC, where the $125 Bestball tournament is really picking up steam. It's down to 3,500 entries left with still 2 months to go. Over 1,000 entries have already been done. So I think this is going even better than they anticipated. If you want to take part in this, Billy and I are together a lot. We're separate a lot. But go to myffpc.com, sign up, and try and get $100,000 for first place. So, Billy, unlike our friends, we're not going to show our draft board at all. I pre-drafted the first 3 rounds. The way that Billy and I do it is we put the names in the queue, and then the other person will, one person will fill the board, and then the other person will start putting them in order. And then by the time we're on the clock, we and Billy and I have now done about 10 of these drafts. We kind of know what we're looking for. It's going to be a little tight because we haven't talked at all. And I think this is a great contrast to what Rotoviz does, where they, last night, Sean, and they made a whole draft plan. And that's great for if that's the way you want to do it. Billy and I are more fly by the seat of our pants types.
Yeah, I don't really like attacking a draft with a plan. Honestly, I think the best plan is being flexible and being able to adjust on the fly. I don't want to have to go in saying we have to get XYZ player XY round. I think that if you're holding yourself to that type of stipulation, I think you can run into a little bit of trouble. So it looks like the first 4 picks we have here, Christian McCaffrey went 1. That's chalk. Kelsey went 2, which I'm fine with. We normally see a Dalvin Cook there. So I'd like to see a little bit of
probably about 30% Kelsey we see there.
Yeah, so a little bit below the norm, but hey, I like it. Then Dalvin Cook at 3 and Alvin Kamara at 4. We are on deck here.
And we've got 2 players that we're looking at. One is a little bit of a reach. And when you do a lot of these, you can do that sometimes both for the opportunity to get a different build In other words, if you reach a little bit in the first round once in a while, you get a different build because you're taking someone earlier. But oh wow, and they drafted the same guy that they did yesterday, Waller, which leaves us. I don't think we need to reach here, Billy.
No, I think we take the first player on the board. I think you and I both had him ahead of the other, and I think it's a good spot for him. So go ahead and let's
and we don't have a share of him either. So one of the I feel like once you get past Dalvin Cook, Kelsey, and McCaffrey, there's about 6-7 guys who are all very, very close. So I don't mind reaching because I have them all in the same tier. But it just so happens that this is our first 5 or 6, Billy. So we haven't had a chance at Derrick Henry, and now we get him. We see Zeke Elliott going 7th. You and I have a lot of Zeke.
We do have a lot of Zeke. We're getting him more in the 9-10 hole is where we were taking him. He's starting to climb back up boards. I know you selected him in the hard way draft at 3 the other day. I know you and I are both higher on him than a lot of folks are. I think he has a bounce back year. The offensive line's healthy. Dak is back. I think that offense is going to be elite once again. But I agree. I think that pretty much Kamara to Austin Eckler, even Tyreek are all pretty interchangeable to me. I'm really fine hitting either one of them and then adjusting my strategy on the fly as we go.
Even Barkley's finally starting to drop a little bit. We took him in at the same time in 10th. And we're starting to see Eckler go a little earlier. I know that some of the high stakes guys are really on Eckler. And he was the guy we were going to take if Derrick Henry wasn't there, simply because we don't have a share of him. And in a contest like this, you want to have exposure to everyone in the first, second round because of injury. And what happens if there are injuries? You don't want to have the guy that really goes off not be on your team. Correct, Bill?
Correct. Yeah. Diversifying your portfolio is an important factor, especially when you're doing large field tournaments and you have mass entries like we do. Todd and I will have each of us between 50 and 70 of these drafts in our portfolio when we're done. And you want to make sure that you're diversifying as many of those teams as you can. You don't want to have, 70% ownership of 1, 2, or 3 guys, because if that guy gets hurt or is dead in the water for the year, whatever may happen, you don't want your entire year to be SOL. So you want to make sure that you're diversifying along the way.
Yep. And if you do only 10 or 15 of these, I think that becomes less important. I think you play the draft board a little bit more. Ideally, you would get enough exposure to everyone based on the positions you get them. But Billy and I, we like the end of the draft and we like the beginning. And we've been lucky enough to get mostly beginning and ends. Jonathan Taylor slipping to the 10 spot, 12 spot. That's the latest we've seen him. Najee Harris still going earlier than you or I have him.
Yeah, I can't pull the trigger there. I mean, he may, get 250 plus carries, but I just don't. I know some people are banking on a 300 carry year, and I just don't see that in the cards for Najee Harris year one, especially with some of the O-line concerns that I have with the team. It's not that elite offensive line as it used to be. And let's face it, they have the hardest strength of schedule in the NFL this year. So I think that Najee Harris, I think he's going to have a great career. I think he's a great running back. I'm just not comfortable taking him ahead of players like Nick Chubb or Aaron Jones or Stephon Diggs for that matter.
I'm glad Chubb went because you're on him. I love Nick Chubb as a running back, but he is I don't like the Hunt Chubb thing. I do like Nick Chubb, but I feel like we've got a couple of those. So I'm glad we don't have to worry about him. I see your board, and the top 3 guys that you've got there are the top 3 in the order that I would like them. I don't have any. I may have one of the first guy and one of the second guy. So I definitely am hoping for 1 or 2 more than 3. And now we're going to get 1 or 2, Billy, because
Perfect.
We didn't have Aaron Jones on the clock. I'm good with who's number 1 there. Are you?
Yep. Yeah, I like him. I don't have enough of them. I'm ready to.
I don't either. And I like the other guy that we had who happened to be a running back, a wide receiver. I don't necessarily feel the need, and this is the advantage that we have because we don't have a strategy. we don't have a strategy. We don't have a set strategy that we can go heavy running back early and build teams that way. And the guy that we're taking is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He has a different bye week than Derrick Henry. That's something good to check. And we'll let all of you know who the other guy. I would be surprised if they didn't take the guy
I think he goes right here.
Yeah,
if he doesn't go here, I think he goes at in the next 2 picks.
They did mention that they wanted CEH yesterday. I'm trying not to use that stuff against them. At the same time, knowing what your opponent likes to do and who might make it back is a strategy I will use when I'm on the ends. And if I do, if I have, I always talk about tiebreakers, Billy, and it might not sound nice, but the truth is, if you're drafting next to me and I know who you like, and I've got 2 or 3 guys about the same, and I know it's going to hurt you and maybe get in your head that your guy is gone, I'm not against sniping intentionally as long as I'm not, dropping value to do it.
Yeah, I'm a little contrarian there. I don't really care what you have on your board or who you like. I'm picking whoever I think is the best player for my team. And if it happens to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and upset the person next to me, great. But if not, I'm looking to build the best possible roster with the best possible stack or make the most sense for my team.
Well, I basically said the same thing in a different way.
I guess you're right. We have Calvin Ridley did go next pick. So
yep.
They did take who we thought they were going to take, followed by DeAndre Hopkins. And then
Devontae. And so I set the queue because I know how many picks to our 3rd pick. So pretty much, Billy, just waiting to see who's left. The guy who's number 4 right now is the one guy I really don't want.
I was actually just deleted him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You got to tell me when you do that.
I was clicking on it as you said it. I deleted him. I will not own any of them. And it may bite me, but I just can't do it that early.
Well, we might need one more name then. Oh wait, I might have put in another name. We'll see.
There's 8 in there. We're good.
Okay. And now the draft room is taking its time.
Yes. Joe Mixon falling to the end of round 2. It's funny. So Joe Mixon's one of those players. I either see him go in the beginning of round 2 or the end of round 2. There's a lot less in between. Have you noticed that as well?
I've also seen him at the end of round 1, and I think that whole range is fair for him.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins going a lot earlier than we've seen. With DK Metcalf and CMC, that's an interesting build. That's a little early. I love Dobbins, but that's a little early for me just because I know I've been getting so much of him later. So, Billy, out of the 3 that are left, I have an enormous amount of number 2. So I'm leaning towards 1, 3, or 4.
See, I don't own a lot of number 2. I just haven't been able to get them. I would prefer 2, but I also like 1.
I own a ton of 1. I like 1 and 3. I like 4. I like all 4 of them. So we're going to get someone we really like, which is the good news.
See, I'm hoping for 2 here.
I'm hoping for 1 here. We might have to flip a coin, buddy.
I'm fine with the coin flip. I pick heads. It's weighted a little more.
All right. Well,
let's see who's picked here.
Let's see. Yep. If one of them goes, then we know. I actually can show you. We actually do this once in a while and flip a coin when we both like both, but one has one first and one has the other first. We scientifically flip a coin, and I've won every time. So far, I think.
It's because he controls the coin flip.
Right, but this time you're actually going to see it.
Yeah. He tells me he flips a coin every time. I think he has a double-sided coin. I haven't figured it out yet.
So they took the guy we didn't want. So
both of our guys are here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna flip, and you want heads, right?
I want heads. Show
Tails.
it. It's always tails, everybody. Just so you know. All right, take your guy.
I have so much of both. I love both, and but I also think it's better to stay balanced, and that's the main reason I was pushing to take Michael Thomas over the running back, who I'm sure I'll just say it's DeAndre Swift. I normally don't like giving names when people are still on the board, but
Man,
I think it's
late,
pretty
though.
obvious who.
He doesn't normally go this late.
Oh, that's about where Swift. Oh, yeah, Swift goes well. Thomas doesn't go this late either.
I got Thomas. I got Thomas the other day at 3.10. I was actually happy about that.
Oh man! And now Allen Robinson goes. Someone's going to get a nice value.
Wow!
All right, we got to start adding to the queue for next time. Hold on, I'll do that.
Wow, somebody's going to get great value here. He's still on the board.
Well, that's the thing I told you. I said that, and the Golden Tanks is the beneficiary.
There it is. Wow, what a great start. Tyreek, Gibson, Swift falling to the end of 3.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
That's dangerous.
All right, you got to double check me. Hawkinson went again.
Yeah, I'm happy to get him in the 4 when I can. He seems to be sneaking into round 3 pretty frequently now. He used to go pretty steadily in round 4 in May and early June, and
look through the queue to see if there's anyone that I missed.
I'm so glad they just took that guy. I don't want any more of him.
I wasn't going to take him. I put him in the queue just so we know, who might reasonably make it to us. But there was no way I was taking another Mahomes. I mean, I'm getting up to like 25, 30% in this contest. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I'm only at like 8%, something like that. It's pretty low.
I
think you hit all the names that I really like in there. The only other one I'm going to add in there is I think a value at that point. He's number 9 on there now. And then maybe on the...
I don't know if I want to refresh. Okay, I see him. Yeah, I got him in the 5th yesterday. Did you see that? You ever see my draft?
I did. Yeah, I didn't have a full chance to analyze it. I looked at your team only. I liked your team, but I didn't get a chance to analyze the whole board. Just was a long day yesterday.
I'm looking at number 6. I haven't gotten one share of him yet. But I'm okay with anybody ahead of him. And obviously, the guy who's number 1, you and I are going to own a lot of if he keeps falling.
Yeah, I think he will, honestly, looking at the board here.
And he's a different bye week than anyone we've got.
That's accurate. I also like numbers.
Oh, did you see who went 4-4?
Yes, I did.
I think he was trying to snipe the Rotoviz boys because they waxed poetic about him yesterday.
I also like number 6 here.
Oh, yes. Although I'm starting to own an unhealthy amount of that person too.
So the person at number 1 is actually my most owned player across all. Not only
we're going to get one of them.
Yeah,
we're going to get one of them. So we don't even have to discuss. We might have to flip.
No, there one went. So I think I like 4 here just because of.
I agree. I think it's a no-brainer.
Let's take him. I was kind of hoping Sanders would make it back.
I'm going to fill. I was too. That would have been fabulous.
I do have to check my ownership though. I'm curious. I know it was pretty high. Yeah. So in 11 drafts so far, I own Miles Sanders in 33%. That's pretty high.
Let me do my thing, and then I'll look. All right, so I got 13 names, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But there's a couple extra running backs that I really don't want, but they're in there. Check. All right, you check to see if I missed anyone, okay?
Okay, I'm looking.
And I'm going to go look about Miles Sanders. So I think you can see that Billy and I are more, we partner a lot. There's a lot less planning on the front end. And we didn't want to do live ones that much in the beginning, but now we're getting to the point where we're like I won't say a fine-oiled machine, but we know who we like and who we don't like, and that's why we also do separate things. I keep clicking on the wrong thing because I'm talking. All right, Miles. I can see for Miles. I only have him in 16% of this tournament. I thought it would have been more.
Yeah, that means.
But if he keeps dropping to the third, fourth, and if he keeps dropping to the fourth round, I'll get plenty.
So I was in a draft the other day by myself, and I told myself.
Did you add anyone?
I only added one person. You had everybody else I wanted in there. Mine's at the very end.
I've got so much of that right now, though. I don't want to go there. In fact, if you want to go look at it, I'm more likely to do this just to split up. But I think we don't need to.
No, I don't think we need to. But if he's there on the next pick, maybe.
So I wouldn't mind number 9, but we've got a lot of him. I don't mind 8. Definitely number 1 if he makes it.
I think one or 2 for me here. I don't own a lot of 2.
I took one last night. Let's see who makes it. Oh, he just went.
There's number 2 just went. I have a feeling number 1 goes here.
And I also took Mark Andrews yesterday, but I got him in the 5th round.
Nice. That's good value.
Yeah. I had Kittle, so I wasn't looking for but again, that's why you can be balanced. Because you can the thing about being balanced is that, and this is one of the things I have against any strategy, is if you're heavy on one position early and a great value falls to you, sometimes you can't take it.
I think we're going to get him, dude.
No, we're not. Well, maybe. Do they have a...
They do not, but I don't think they do.
So they stayed true to form. They took double tight ends, double wide receivers. They're doing a true zero RB. I mean, one of the things, yeah, but we've got to take him if he falls.
100%. I actually don't. I don't want 2 or 3 here.
I don't either. If not 1, I am between 7 and 8.
I was going to say 7.
Okay. Yeah, I took him last night too. In the 5th, a few picks back. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anyone.
Once we pick, I got to run to the restroom. I'm half a bottle of champagne in, and
okay. All right, I'm going to take David Montgomery while you go.
Let's do it. All right, I'll be right back.
I mean, middle of the 5th round, David Montgomery dropping.
I'm going to
looking to be
move
that
myself backstage.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll look for him. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at the queue. Oh, I'm good. All right, so I got enough names in the queue. I'm just double checking. Double checking. Of course, I got to make sure I see Billy when he comes back. He's back.
I'm back.
All right, so I got enough guys in the queue. Just check to see if I missed anyone.
Okay. Number 8, I'm moving to the bottom.
Yeah. But we have 0.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have less than 5%.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're already not going to get him. So the hyper fragile is the 4 running backs. I feel with the flexibility of the FFPC versus underdog that you can afford to take a 5th running back and still, quote, be fragile enough because you're not starting 3 wide receivers. So Billy and I have been doing a lot of 5 running backs. Higgins was a guy we were considering. But, because we did have Clyde Edwards-Helaire for the week 17. But, when David Montgomery fell, I mean, that became a no-brainer. I feel like that he was a tier. Second day in a row he's drafted. He's gone in the middle of the 5th. I just think that's ridiculous value, Billy.
I think so, too. I think people are concerned with Williams there. I think they're concerned with the ties with Nagy. I think they're also concerned with Tariq Cohen coming back. Let's face it, ACL injuries, you're not usually the same the first few weeks when you are back. So I still like Montgomery. I know he was pretty inefficient in the carries that he did have. But I think with the news being out of camp right now, or OTAs, I should say, with Andy Dalton now having a favorable lead as the number 1 quarterback for week 1, I think that helps David Montgomery. I think Justin Fields' rushing upside and ability would hurt Montgomery, but so I'm very happy in round 5 with them. Anywhere between
it'll
middle
hurt
and
him
4.
on one hand. It'll hurt him near the goal line, but RPOs with a running quarterback do open up running lanes for backs.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But I'm more concerned about the goal line touches with a rushing quarterback.
I knew what you were saying. I was just giving a counterpoint. So I really don't want to take an RB here unless the value is ridiculous. I'm looking at number 5, number 6, number 7. Although number 1 I know you like a lot, and then we could probably except we've got if we can't go 4 running backs and have a bye be the same.
No, so, I was actually going to say I'm okay with us taking 1 out this draft. I don't think we need him here. I actually would not be opposed to going a little contrarian to our normal build, and never mind, he just went.
Yep, I was thinking the same. We were thinking the same thing. We were thinking of getting a second tight end.
There goes that idea.
Although,
yeah, the other one's still on the. I see another one on there. I think it's a little early. I think we might be able to hit him on 7.
I do too. I mean, to me, number 4 on our list is a no-brainer. Especially since there's a week 17 correlation.
Yes. Yeah, I like 4, and I think that I think he's a little bit of a value this year. I think last year he was a round 3 talent, and I think he has the same type of upside he had in that offense as he does now. And I know the quarterback isn't as capable, but I still think there's going to be a similar type of volume.
We talked about number 5 again, and people will be, we'll try our best to let you guys know who we were talking about. So you looked at, we're kind of zigging while they're zagging, which is fine. It means that we're not going to be sniping each other. So when they're looking for running backs late, we're going to be looking for other positions possibly. We're not up yet. I thought we were up. He made it.
I would say either 2 or 3.
Oh, 3 for me.
Okay,
two. It changed. Yes, the guy who was 3 is now 2.
Correct.
I like the guy that you're talking about, but I still think there's a chance he makes it back.
I think it's a possibility. Yeah.
Yes,
because looking at the board, I just think it's more likely.
Yeah, and I think Galladay is going a little too late because they're thinking about all the other receivers in New York, but Daniel Jones, I feel like Galladay is his Plaxico Burress. If you remember, Eli Manning had his best years when he had a big target. And I feel like that big target is going to be, and they've got enough receivers that it's going to be hard to double team any of them.
Well, there's a saying that one of my other recording buddies says, "What goes up must come down." And with Barkley news out of camp that he is behind schedule, I think that
I didn't hear that he's behind schedule.
They're going to limit him, is what they're saying, and which to me is reading between the lines. I think that they're just not comfortable with where he's at. I know he had the cleanup over the offseason as well. So I think what goes up must come down here. And if Barkley is not at full speed, they're going to rely more on the passing game. And that's going to help us in the early weeks. Looks like we had a comment there. Do you want to show Mr. Muto's comment there?
Yep, I'll be right there. We've got enough people in the queue. You check that.
Okay.
Henry's in the draft, I think.
Oh, is he?
I know he was in last night. So if any of you guys want to come on and do comments, we definitely get him in. Russ just went. I think that's right around where he goes, end of the 6th.
I'm happy to see another quarterback go. You know how I feel about quarterbacks.
And then Trey Sermon, who I really want to get more of, but every time I think I talk myself into him at ADP, he goes up another round, right? Like when he was in the 8th round, I'm like, that's a little early. And then the Jeffrey Wilson news came out, and he moved up to the 7th. And then I'm finally like, I got to get some. And now he's going in the 6th round.
Yeah, and for those of you who are watching the stream, I mean, the red and the gold in the back, and I can't even pull the trigger on him. I can't do it. I see how my Niners use the running backs. I see it's hot hand approach. It's week in, week out, and injuries are often frequent in this backfield, and I just can't pull the trigger on him in round 6. I just can't do it.
Yep. So Henry's in. He's picked 10. He's done 7 of these now and only had 1 draft with the top 7. It's making you mad. I can relate, buddy. I've had a lot of years like that. So let's get the banners. You down with ADP? Yeah, you know me. Actually,
I love that one.
Billy and I are actually not down with ADP. But, I also don't want to throw it out the window, especially early, because I'm trying to build a portfolio that's balanced early. I really didn't like what the Rotoviz guys did yesterday. I understood it, but it's not me. It's not my drafting style.
I'm really hoping one makes it back to us.
Henry said, oh, my God, that would be running pure.
It would be.
And we've run pretty pure. You can thank my teammate for getting Andrews. I wanted him in the 4th. He didn't. Thank you, teammate.
Thank you, Muto. It's Muto. Let's call him Muto Jr.
No. I hope Henry never turns into a troll. I'd hate to have the Muto in. Mute. Well, never mind.
But dumps.
Yep. I don't think if Frank doesn't take him, I don't think Rotoviz will here. Maybe they will. Let's look where Rotoviz is at this point.
Do you have crickets in your room?
I have an air conditioner.
Oh, that's what that sounds like crickets. Oh, Frank went.
Yeah, Frank took him.
I'm okay with number 1 here still. I actually kind of like it. And I don't think he's going to go here.
See, I was thinking 5. We don't have enough. We hardly have any 5.
Yeah, but I think that's for a good reason. I'm not very high on 5.
I also like 3. I also wouldn't mind 3 here. There was another blurb out of Jets camp about him.
Yeah, had a pretty good. I saw his catch, but it's OTAs. It doesn't matter right now.
No, but all right, I'm fine. They won't take him, I don't think.
No, there's no way they take him.
Yeah, so they reached for LaVisca, and this is what I mean about having guys that you really like. I love LaVisca, but when you're building this is the difference between building one draft versus building a portfolio with a partner and mixing in your own portfolio. Billy and I don't feel the need to reach because we don't have to. We should be able to get enough of guys like LaVisca in the 8th and 9th and 10th round. Even sometimes you still see him. I'm okay with one. How about you?
I actually like one here, and it's a value, I think, at this point.
All right. I didn't look, and normally Billy and I would look at ADP, make sure that that we're correct on the value. I will look now, though.
Pulling it up as well. Never saves my login. I don't know why, even though the button's checked. I'm gonna email you, Darren. He's gonna tell me it's an ID.
That's funny.
Here.
I'm trying to get to Noah Fant, and it keeps giving me Fantasy Mojo on the site. 68 is his ADP, and we took him at 7.6, so 6.72 and 6.
It's almost a full round of value. Actually, he's been going in the middle of round 6.
Good. All right, we got to add to the queue. Have you noticed that the guy I just put in number 6? We were getting him whenever we wanted, and I was going up a half round to get him. Now he's going
10.
like, what's that?
We were getting him in 9 and 10 turns usually.
Yeah, and now he's going super early.
Yes, he is.
All right,
I'm going to zoom in for this board for folks. There we go.
So for the first time, I'm having trouble getting enough players to fill our board.
Can you count off how many we are? I'm looking at a different screen right now, and I can start adding.
I've got 7.
How many picks till we're up?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I think somebody at another position.
Yeah, we have 6 in now.
No, I see 7.
I'm going to refresh then.
Yeah.
I still see 6.
Well, now there is 6. Tyler Boyd just went. And I don't know that I take a look, see if I'm missing anyone. This is the part of the draft where I really feel that the most, and might be why that guy that we were talking about is starting to go earlier, because it's the spot that I'm going to add this guy too. It's now up to 7. I think this is the part of the draft where I don't mind reaching because when you have trouble filling your queue, I'm not opposed to going down a round or two to find someone I like.
This is where ADP fluctuates, is what I like to call it. It's people getting their guy versus staying true to ADP because, like Todd said, I'm fine reaching here for a full round or a round and a half for somebody that I like more because ADPs in this round aren't affected as highly as somebody that's going in rounds 1, 2, and 3. So someone being drafted around earlier here isn't going to move up as much in a spot. So I really am fine with a lot of the names on the board that we have here. I actually like 8 on our list with our build here.
Well, I like 1.
I like 1, of course, too, but I don't think he's going to make it.
I like 2. I like 8's okay, but not as much as 4. We haven't gotten 4 in quite a while.
I think I have a lot of them.
All right, take a look. I'm going to look.
No, actually, only 6.67, so not a lot, actually.
Yeah, we haven't gotten him since the beginning.
Because he was
free
in the
beginning. His ADP is down to 102 overall. And I only have 11% in the tournament. We just started out with him so hot.
It's because he was going around 10.
Took him in an FPG.
There goes our number
one. There goes
one.
Michael Carter. I was afraid. I didn't think he'd make it.
No, I didn't think so either.
But that's where having and again, this is where zero running back, you're hoping for running back injuries, right? And you're hoping for opportunities. But in a best ball, unlike season long, it's harder to find guys on waivers. I like zero running back a little less in best ball. I think you need some. I am okay with.
I like 10 here too.
What's that?
I just added now our number 9. I like him here
yesterday for a partner.
I'm not crazy about it, but I
think
three.
I think 3.
I think we might be able to get him one more round. I really do.
I don't. I think no way. Look at the board. Look at the ADP.
If the only one who's going to take him is going to be 1.
What's that?
I think the only person who would take him would be 1.
So who do you want?
For me, it would either be 3, 1, or 6.
All right, we're flipping. 3 or 1, heads or tails?
Heads.
All right, heads is 1. It's 1. 1 or 6? It's heads. It's 1. Okay. Even though I got him last night.
I like 1 here.
I have no problem with it. He has a good week 17 correlation with a team we don't have any of them. And a team that
I just think that I think they're going to be playing from behind a lot, especially with Deshaun Watson not playing. I think they're going to be having a lot of garbage time, and he's the number 1 receiver on this offense. If Deshaun Watson does come back and does play here, he is the number 1 wide receiver for Deshaun Watson. I think it's his ADP is built in with the risk, but I think that if you look at his finishes, he has been one of the most efficient one of the most efficient wide receivers in the game. I'm going to pull it up just so I can list off his exact finishes here from my site here at Fantasy Data that I'm a part of. And last year he was wide receiver 17, and I know that he has finished in the top 12 on 3 separate occasions. So I really like that pick here for us in the 8th round.
See, the thing was, the guy who's now number 14 would have gone with number 3 last time, but the coin did not go in my favor for the first time. But I'm not, the key to this is, and the key to the partnership is, you don't push somebody on someone they don't want. That's what your own teams are for. I was okay with all 3 of them, or I wouldn't have gone for the flip. The guy that you wanted, who's now number 7, I wouldn't have flipped for. I just don't see it. I had to take him today for one of my other partner. Now this round, okay. So
Aaron Rodgers just went. Wow.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, or 4, and Tannehill. So people are doing us a favor by taking quarterbacks we really don't want at this point. And you and I have enough Aaron Rodgers because you were nice enough to let me get a few.
Well, not just that, but when we're getting him as 10th and 11th, I mean, that's a pretty early reach right now for Rodgers.
No, we got him in the 9th once, I think.
Well, yeah, that was, I think, in the beginning, but I think
there was nobody we like. Again, it was the dead zone. So I'm like, why not take a chance on a guy who, could pay off, 6th round value?
And look where I got him in our hardway draft in FBG in round 14.
Yeah, it's a little different in.
It is an FBG. I agree.
That second tier of quarterbacks tends to. I mean, the first tier goes about a round later, and the second tier like 5.
Wow! Look at number 1. How many running backs he has already?
Who?
Team 1.
What team
6
is
running
that?
backs already.
What team is that?
Spearmint.
He's pretty smart.
He double tapped the Uncle Lenny and Rojo there. I have a couple of those stacks. I like
See,
it.
I don't get that. I don't get taking a 5th and 6th wide receiver with no tight ends.
It's not my build.
No.
I told you I thought we were going to get your guy on the way back. I think we still get him.
If we do, I'd be very happy. If not, I'm okay with 2 or 3 or 4. I guess 4 would be the choice based on
4 makes the most sense.
Yeah. It also takes him away from. They should take him. I mean, they've got Lamar. If they don't take him, that's kind of silly because he's a neutral value here.
They took a quarterback. All right, take your guy.
All right. Billy, man, normally it's me saying we should wait around. Billy gets it. Boom. Antonio Brown.
You can thank the champagne.
Now our build is 3-4-2. I love it.
I do too.
Nice and balanced. Ooh, Trey Lance, 9-7.
It's a little early.
A little.
A wee bit.
Just a Todd. I mean a tad. I'm thinking that we go and get our 4th running back this time, possibly. There's like 5 or 6 names that I put up last time.
Unless number 2 makes it back. If number 2 makes it back, I want to get him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you know I got number 1 in the round 11 today and another on my solo?
Number 1 in round 11. That's where he used to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's working in reverse right now.
Number 11 is a guy I haven't been drafting because he's been injured so much.
11. I only see 9 on the board.
I just put 2 new ones on.
Okay, let me add in here. There we go. I added 1. I can see him. Here we go. I'm going to refresh so my board is the same as your board.
All right. I don't see yours either. Give me the first initial of the last name of the guy you added.
L.
Position?
Wide receiver.
Okay.
It's number 8 on my screen.
Oh, I already had him there.
Oh.
That's why I didn't see him come up new. Boy, I'm okay with 1. I know we could use running backs, but boy, I'm not passing on 1 or 2.
I'm not passing on 1 or 2 either. I think in order for me, it's 1, 2, 3, honestly.
I'm okay with that because I don't have enough of 3.
I've
been drafting more 4 lately, and I like 5 and 6. I like a lot, but I think he'll make it to the 11th.
I do too. Although Team 5 could throw a wrench in that. That's the kind of target they're looking for.
Yeah, they weren't interested in him yesterday.
Interesting.
It wasn't on their radar.
Fits the build completely.
Oh my God, I can't believe that they. I'm like, really? You guys don't want him? I'll take him.
Yeah,
all right,
thank you.
I miss Wheeler. He adds a lot to these. Well, we got 9 people watching. That's not bad.
Yeah. We were up to like 13 earlier.
You bastards. How dare you leave on Father's Day to eat good food and not take part in Billy and I's.
They're being put to work on Father's Day.
I took my first share of Troutman with Elliot today.
I don't think I own. I think I have 1 share in like 20 drafts.
That was my 1. And we had Michael Thomas, and we were thinking in that draft, it's a slow of, we got 1 quarterback late, and we're thinking of Winston Taysom. He wants someone else. I won't Winston. We've got he wanted me to take Trey Lance and Fields without having anybody from those teams. And I talked him fine. He normally lets me do mostly what I want to do, but he was really pretty insistent. And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't mind. I have no Lance. I only have 1 or 2 Fields. I'm open to it, but I want to do it when we've got correlations. And he was like, okay, yeah. And 1 and 2 are still there. And so is 3.
Yeah, it's looking promising right now.
And I'm good right down through 6. So we're going to get someone good here.
Yeah, I don't think I want 5 in this draft. It just doesn't. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for the build.
I mean, if no one else is here, I'm okay with. I like him.
Yeah, I'm not as high on him as you are.
He's gonna have a good year.
I got the bladder of a old man.
Right, I normally do too, and I you can go right after this one.
After we pick, I'm gonna.
And then after the next round, I'll go because of course, as soon as you mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah,
Well, that's what happens. Like, so my wife and my kids cooked me breakfast this morning, and as soon as I finished my latte, my wife hands me a bottle of champagne, and she's like, "Go for it."
That's great.
We're gonna get one of our 3.
What's your wife's name?
My wife's name's Liz.
Liz. Well, I want to thank Liz again for loaning me her husband on Father's Day.
She told me it's your day. You can do whatever you want to do.
I did tell you to ask her.
Wow, 1, 2, and 3 are both on the board still.
Yeah.
2.
I want 1.
You want 1?
Yeah. Oh man.
2 makes better sense for our team though.
All right.
The correlation. Let me
actually, in the 10th round, 3 makes the most sense. We've got 4 wide receivers, 3 running backs. I'm okay with it. Which is funny because you were the one who talked me onto 1, and now I'm drafting a lot of them. But I think for best ball with the correlation, run to the bathroom so I can go.
All right. I'm going to remove myself 1 second.
And I am going to add to the queue. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I forgot you were there. You might not be at this point. Lord knows I wouldn't be. I think number 13 makes a lot of sense. All right, so we've got at least 15 names. I got to go back so I can let Billy in.
I think one of these guys make it back, quite frankly.
Dude, I definitely don't want I want ideally we go running back next, but I put in a bunch of people.
I'm okay if we don't. I still think there's some value. I mean, we have 3 really solid running backs. I think that if we were to wait, I would not be opposed to grabbing 2 later to get number 1 or to get.
We're not passing on number 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if he's there, like it's a smash.
And then number 11 makes sense. He's number 10 now.
Yeah, he does actually. He makes a lot of sense.
And Pittman finally went way later than normal. I want to look up 8's ADP.
He goes about a round earlier.
Then where we're going to be?
Yeah.
All right, so then he moves to the top of the list. I've got a lot of the 0 RB candidate, and maybe he makes it another round. I know the Rotoviz guys are probably real happy that we didn't take AJ Dillon. But right now they're sitting there with 2 running backs, Zach Moss and AJ Dillon.
Oh man, I can't do that. I understand it's a theory and a philosophy. It's just not for me. I just feel like, especially in best ball, with what you're getting at with like Marquise Brown or AJ Dillon on a week-to-week basis, I just feel like Marquise Brown's going to outscore AJ Dillon on a week-to-week basis.
So 1 or 8, right? Although 9 is way past where he normally goes.
I say I like 9 here too. I really do. And he usually goes full round earlier as well. So either way, we're going to get somebody really good here. I'd almost say 1 doesn't fit the team build. Well, neither does 9, but we have a lot of 1.
Yeah, I think 8 is the guy.
I think so too. Yeah, I think 8 is my number 1, and then 9's my number 2.
I think I would flip for. I guess I don't have enough. I don't have any 9,
and that's why I'm leaning that way. It's it's diversity.
All right.
Let's take 8.
Yep. So it's Gus Edwards. He is. So this is something I'm starting to do more and more of, is take the backup running back when you've already got a stack. I did that last night when I had Thielen and then Cousins, and then followed it up with Madison, which I thought was fabulous. All right, I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Yeah,
you fill the queue.
Okay, I'll fill it. So we had Nyheim Hines went here right after our pick, which was number 1 on our board, but we just own so much of him. Nyheim Hines, I think, is about 20% ownership amongst our drafts so far. Jonnu Smith and Blake Jarwin, we might see a little bit of a tight end run here. Let's see how many picks we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 picks. We have 8 in our queue. I'm going to move one of them to number 1 here. So when he gets back, I'm okay with a 5th running back here if it pans out.
All right, I'm fast.
Back. I can't believe you sat down and wiped all that fast, buddy.
I went from best ball to best balls.
I only added 2 to the queue.
I'm like, geez, we're like 9 away still.
Yeah,
I do think we need to address.
I was just looking at the position. I already know what you're saying. My boy's gonna be there, and you know he is.
Yeah. I'd like to get one of 10. I'd like to get. Oh boy, we don't have any correlations. Hold on, let me look.
If you want a correlation, we can wait, and we can wait a while.
Yeah, I'm going to text you privately in the thing, in the private chat. What do you think?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, 100%.
Now, and you guys, so if you're wondering what makes a good partnership, when you take 2 to 3 quarterbacks, throw them out there, and it's exactly what your partner was thinking, you probably have got the right partner.
Yeah,
I would say we agree like 90% of the time, and the only real disagreement we had was
Hunt.
I was right about.
I still think I'm right about, and I saved the receipts for the end of the year, by the way. And we're going to be those are going to be on I actually it's pinned to my profile, so it's not lost. So that way,
So I think number 2 is still there. I think number 4 is interesting. Number 3 is interesting. Oh, number 4 just went.
See, I would prefer either. I'm going to move 2 to 1. 2's actually one who's now 1.
Yeah, you don't need to move them. We know, that just confuses things. We'll just call out numbers. I really like number 4 too.
I'm going to refresh as I moved it.
I think number 4 is my favorite here. If you look at who we've got on the team and what I just sent you, number 4 is got to be the guy.
Yeah, 4 makes sense. I just think the value there at 1 is just almost too hard to pass. I don't think he makes it back, but if he does, he's gone. Yeah. Yeah, so was 4, now 3 makes sense.
Yeah.
It's also hard to pass on 1 here, though.
No, it's not.
No, it's not actually. It's about the same spot, I guess.
4. I mean, he's now number 3, and it's just such a no-brainer with what we're trying to do.
I think so. I think 3 is the right call. I don't own a lot of them either, but I think it's probably the right call. Yep, take him.
Now, let's not talk about it too much more. We talked about that, but if the value at quarterback makes it to 13, I'm not opposed. Let's just see what happens. I'll throw some names in the queue. And the thing is, I feel really good with our 4 running backs. I don't feel like we need to. Oh, we just took a 5th. We don't need another running back.
No, we're solid at position. We're solid at tight end as well.
Oh, I would go another tight end just simply because if the value's there in this system. And because I'm a good partner, I threw number 13 in.
Is he 12 now?
Yeah.
Nice. Love that player. He's gonna be one of my most owned players this tournament.
Yeah, I got to get more just so I don't have to hear it every week when he's like 50% on your team and 3% on mine.
And when he goes off, you don't want to be like, damn it, he told me so.
Well, you also basically, your reasons why I was missing a big factor.
Yeah.
Of why you liked him so much. And, as much as we like to think we know,
and with that player, I mean, he is the number 1.
The 2 quarterbacks that I would have considered. I think we have to grab the first guy that we talked about coming up.
I think so too, and I think it's on that list. It's number 3 on the list you sent.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there goes Gabe Davis. We barely knew you.
That's about 1 round early, actually, half a round early. Bye, old friend. So long, partner. There goes another player I'm starting to accumulate quite a bit of shares of is Henry Ruggs. I think he could take a major step forward. The signing of John Brown has me a little concerned, but I think that with the right roster construction, he can make a lot of sense. Like I was able to get him.
I think he's a great best ball guy.
He really is.
I still have concerns about him. And Gruden, they reach for these players that they shouldn't, and then they don't play them, right? So I mean, it's hard to get too excited. I gotta say, number 3. Did we just lose? Oh, I don't think I have him in the queue.
No, you didn't add him. You added the wrong one, the wrong last name.
But number 3 is, that's my favorite quarterback in this range. I think he's I think we have to take number 9.
Hold on, I'm looking at the board here. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
So 8 will not take one. 12 will not take one. 10 will not take one. So 11's really the only one who may take one. Maybe
At
9.
this point, I like our team so much.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're passing on people that I'm that crazy about. Let's just accumulate them and get them, especially the second and third one, because
it's probably the safe bet, quite frankly.
I think that's the way we should do it. All right,
and it has the most correlation with our team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one is correlated with All right. And I actually think that Daniel Jones, I don't own a lot of them, but I think the Giants defense is going to regress a little bit. There's not a lot of talent on that defense. And I found that a lot of times when defenses play over their head year 1 with a new coordinator, they come back to earth a little bit year 2. I just think that they're not going to be able to run the ball. And I think Daniel Jones is going to be chucking it. And he's got the receivers to chuck it to.
Yeah, they definitely added the arsenal. I know they only threw 12 touchdowns last year, which is, I think, why he's being drafted where he's being drafted. But
correct.
But I mean, look who he gets to play. He gets to play Philly twice a year. He gets to play Dallas twice a year.
Washington's a good day.
Washington's a good defense twice a year. But I think that the other two, having 4 games with those 2 teams, I think is an upside. I think he takes a step forward. I don't think last year I think was kind of the bottom of the bucket, and I think that them adding Kenny Golladay, like you said, it's his Plaxico Burress. I think it's what's going to elevate him to the next level.
Funny, it won't let me add. I might have to refresh. It's not letting me add my quarterback. Oh, he's already in there. That's why. All right, let's go through running backs to see if there. Oh,
no, we don't need a running back.
Yeah, but there's one really good value. Let's see, wide receiver.
I know who it is. I don't think we need him though. I'd rather have pick 5 here.
Well, I think we're going to take number 3, or we could just take number 2. But number 3 makes so much sense.
3 makes sense, but I think we can wait around on him.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no one. I would hate life if we had back-to-back picks. I would wait. But the fact that we don't, and we're podcasting.
But there's only every team has 2 on that side of the board, except for number 1, and I don't think he takes them because there's better at the position.
Let's see. Anyone else you like that you want to throw in?
Yeah, let me get to it one second. Let me see. I'm kind of curious what 11 does here. 11's the wild card right now. There goes the guy I wanted. I didn't think he was going to make it back, but it was a long shot. It was Jalen Reagor.
I would be more into him if we had. What I'm trying not to do is a lot of one-offs on week 14 guys at neutral value.
Well, in round 14, it would have been a round of value.
Okay.
He goes, but I think that
I still not screaming at me.
No, not screaming, but I do think
especially
that he's the number 1.
Especially when number 7's out there. but I don't think I want number 7 yet.
Yeah, at this point, I think number 3 is the best call right now.
No, I want number 2.
Well, now it's 2. Yeah, he was number 3.
Okay, good. So even when we disagree, most of the time, it's just
it's because the player ahead of him was drafted.
There goes the quarterback.
See, that's what I was saying. So he was the wild card, but
I'm okay with number 1 if number 2. If someone figures out what we're trying to do and tries to actually block us.
Hashtag the guilds.
Yeah. I don't even think that the guild, guilds is he catches a lot of fire, a lot of it deserved, but I didn't think he deserved that one necessarily.
No.
I think it was more of a misunderstanding in that case. I hate to say it, but number 1 is so much better than number 2, but I think we have to go number 2.
I'm fine if you want to double tap it. I would say, I think the person at 1.01 will take one of them.
All right, I'm gonna take this guy.
Yeah,
I think who we talked about.
It's the smart move. I think, and that baits one to take the guy at number 1.
Correct.
And then we can come back with number 5.
Or number 6. I know what you're gonna say. And if we weren't podcasting, I wouldn't do it. But I feel like you have to. I feel pot committed now. But definitely 5 before 6. But if we don't get 6, we're going to have to look somewhere else. We can't just go into the season with
Winston.
2.
Yeah,
the two that we have.
Yeah, 100% 5 before 6 for me.
I'm fine with that.
There goes your guy.
Yeah, I got enough.
That's a good value there for that pick.
That's about where he's been going. I mean, I take him a little early if I need a running back. I mean, he's got a role, he's got a floor, and he's got a ceiling. I don't know what else you want. He's got the clearest. He's got a clearer role than Madison. He's basically Latavius Murray without as many catches, possibly. And he goes a round or 2 after Latavius, who's a good value.
If Team 1 doesn't take 1 on the board here, I'd be shocked, quite frankly.
Yeah, and if 1 makes it back to us,
I think that's the pick.
I can't pass on him. All right, let's look to see who else I like to throw into this. There's also this guy kicking around. There's that guy kicking around. There's this guy kicking. Oh, I was just about to tap Paris Campbell's name when he got picked. Jinx.
See the guilds? He said he just joined. Here, click his comment so he can see it.
Okay,
he said
on.
So he said, I just joined Hermione. What I missed? We were talking about.
No.
I'll let you
We were talking about the fact that your picture looks like you're Daniel Jones. And we drafted Daniel Jones. No, we basically said that you. Oh, go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, we were basically talking about players picking, blocking, etc. And then we both agreed that the heat that you took for the comment wasn't warranted and that it was taken out of context. But that we did not think that we were going to be sniped based on a block is what we were talking about.
We also say that you kind of ask for a lot of trouble, and sometimes when you do that, you get trouble that you don't deserve. But you've grown on me, kind of like Zach Moss. Wait, Zach Moss hasn't grown on me. Well, you've grown on me more than Zach Moss.
I like him that he's active. Like, I don't even care. Like it. Like,
well, I think
he's active. He's active in a good way. It's not like he's Buffalo alcoholic dude. Like, that guy's just crazy.
And the truth is that when I see a Guild's board, I normally, I feel like he is good competition. I some of his act I might not agree with, definitely, but he's grown on. We had our ups and downs, but he's grown on me some. And I do respect him as a drafter, which, some of these guys who troll are just awful.
There's another comment in there. Why don't you let the listeners see it? And we're on the clock.
He tends to grow on people.
So,
number 3. Well,
so, yeah, team 1 did take the player we said it was going to take it. I think number 3 is the easy answer here.
Well, we need another wide receiver. He's top on our board. Time to change the banner. Thank you to our friends at the FFPC. And let's give them a little bit of love with with that.
So while we have the Guilds here, what do you think of the board so far, Guilds? Let you analyze for a minute. Then you can tell us why we're awesome.
It's funny, just like the devil, you mention his name and he shows up. That was wild. All right, we better start throwing some names in the queue, Billy. We're getting lazy.
Well, I think that number two is going to be there. I hope so. No quarrels about it.
I'm tempting you with number 6.
I like the Guilds. I know that a lot of people, you guys go back and forth, but I think he's entertaining. He's active. He's entertaining. He's here. He comments. I know him and Hub are best friends, but I think that anytime that we can have some engaging discussion is always great for a podcast, always great for Twitter. I'm all about it.
Yeah, like I said, I never thought I was gonna like him, but I kind of did.
The Guilds is Daniel Jones' picture is secretly Todd's fapping material here.
I'm alerted anytime I name. So every time Daniel Jones throws an interception, are you alerted? We got to get you an offensive line, Guilds.
All right, let's scroll this board down a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can zoom out just a wee bit so people can see the whole board. There we go. Maybe just one more. Boom. We're golden. I'm just going to go down right there.
I'm ready for a nap. I'm old.
I just finished my bottle of champagne. I just finished it. Here we go.
I mean, you draft pretty good drunk.
You act like it's different from how I draft every other day. What do you think that?
I can't tell a difference. In fact, I don't think you're drunk. I think you probably drink fairly often and are not drunk.
Yeah, I think that's
I think I would say that you're buzzed, but not drunk.
Oh, that's 100%.
I think you're lightly buzzed.
That's 100. That's exactly where it's at. So I'm in my home league. In my home league, they say that I have to get drunk in order to draft to even out the scales. And my best friend, who's known me since elementary school, it was the first person who actually said it was on my mind. They think that's going to help. Like it's what you do different in any given day.
So Montgomery is falling way too far in all these drafts. People forgetting how good he was last year. I don't think it's a case of people forgetting. I just think people are scared off by the competition. But fourth, fifth round, I think the floor is there. And whether we get a ceiling out of him, not everybody you draft has to have a ceiling. But as far as usage goes, he's going to get a lot more usage than any other. I was taking Billy and I were taking him in the mid fourth and having no qualms about it. He was slipping into the late third at times, and now all of a sudden, without really any news, he's fallen around.
Yeah, and so I think like Miles Sanders was the other name where they both started slipping, and Miles Sanders was kind of going in that middle to even early third at the beginning. Then it went to like late 3 to the turn of the 4, and we've kind of seen him settle in the middle of like 4 to the turn of 3. But that full teardrop almost, or the full round drop by David Montgomery is unwarranted, and I will gladly smash him every single time. Insta smash in round 5, even in the end of round 4, I'm happy taking him.
Yeah, I again, as guys drop and my ownership raises, I become less likely to take them. Like Swift today, and I love Swift. I mean, I took him in early round 3rd yesterday in an FB in the hardway draft.
All right, take our guy. I'm going to use the restroom again. It's just the last time.
So yeah, I'll explain what's going on. So basically what we wanted to do, what we decided was that we wanted Daniel Jones to be our number 1 QB. We gave up a little value, but the rest of the team was solid. We've got Kenny Golladay. You've got a week 17 correlation with David Montgomery. There's late Giants out there if you want them. And then we decided to go with Jameis and Taysom Hill. After we decided that, I talked Billy into Latavius. I didn't have to talk too hard. So we've got the backup running back. So if Kamara gets hurt during the tournament, we've now got Michael Thomas, and we also added Traquan Smith. So we've got, other than Alvin Kamara, we got the Saints pretty well covered. And we've got a giant stack along with some pretty good talent elsewhere. So pretty happy with that. Billy, did you hear that spiel?
No, I just got back. I was in the restroom.
Yeah, so basically I was explaining our thought of how we planned to take Jones and the Saints. And then after we decided that, we went for Latavius. And we Bye, Guilt.
Take care, buddy.
It's amazing what children want. So we've got a really full Saints stack. I saw Nelson do that yesterday, Winston and Hill. I had done it in some early best balls, and I might have even done it in an FBG. I don't think I did, though, no. But I think for best ball, I think that, it's really only 2 quarterbacks. So we're not it's not ideal with Daniel Jones, but I think Daniel Jones is going to be better. And again, it's a unique build. You're not going to have too many Daniel Jones, Jameis, Taysom Hill quarterback teams in the playoffs. And so if we can get there, I think it's pretty interesting.
And I think what people are, the only reason why Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill are going as far as they have, like if they announced a starter today, I think we see 4-round increase on whoever that starter is. I personally believe it's Jameis Winston, but if he wins, like if they announce tomorrow, Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback week 1, I think Jameis Winston starts going in round 10, if not round 9.
Yeah, I agree. And you predicted exactly where Tannehill would start going if they got Julio. So looking at our next pick, did I miss any run? Oh, here's a wide receiver. Okay. So number 3 makes sense for us.
Yeah, 3 makes a lot of sense.
Definitely number 7. I take almost every draft.
I think we can get him in the last pick.
And then we've also got a correlation there. I want to throw this guy in to the mix as a third tight end who can possibly be someone to consider. Let's see, who else do we have correlated? Kansas City, week 17 is Cincinnati. Baltimore plays the Rams. We've got a couple Baltimore players.
I just added a name in there that we have 0 of. It would only be a round 18 pick or later, but it would make sense for the team.
Although, with Baltimore, I feel like the guy that I just added and no, I hit the wrong one. So who do you want for this pick?
I'm taking a look right now. I think number 2 makes the most sense.
And I think Baltimore, that's more likely to be a low-scoring game, Baltimore. Who does Detroit play week 17? I think hold on. I think the Lions play
Seahawks.
Okay, we don't have any Seahawks. Arizona plays the Cowboys.
I was going to say.
I like 11 or 2 or 6.
I like 2 the best here. Makes the most sense with their team build.
I can't disagree. I got to say, I like 5 a lot better than 7. I understand 7, but I don't think that the team, I just don't know that.
I don't know if 7's going to be on the team come
exactly.
Yeah, that's my only reservation here. But last year he was going around like 10, 11, and I just didn't pan out. I was wrong on him 2 years in a row. I don't know if I want to be wrong on him 3.
I'm also a big fan of this guy that I'm just going to add. We have no correlations, but I think he's just like the perfect round 18 guy.
He really is. He's got such boom weeks. I'm going to just double check through everyone here. Take a look at our team again. Let me zoom out so I can actually see the board.
I just threw in number 12. I think it makes sense.
I'm gonna refresh while I'm looking at the board.
Henry said he got Montgomery at 5'8" yesterday, and I know because I wasn't too happy you took him, but I already had 4 running backs. So
I was actually going to add 12. I like 12, but I also like there's another name on here. I'm going to add him right now as number 13. Those were the 2 I was actually looking at.
I don't see the 13.
Yeah, I had to refresh when you added 12. It's the same team.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
I'm fine with either 12 or 13. I think it makes sense for our build, but I'm also fine with 11. If I had to pick of all these players on here, for me, it would probably be either number 1, which has no correlation, or 11 through 13.
You know what I haven't looked at? I mean, we've got a ton of New Orleans. Who do they play week 17? They play the Panthers.
Oh, so the guy at number 5 makes sense then.
Yeah. And it gives us a little more flexibility in case one of our guys gets hurt.
It might be the go-to pick then. As much as I want like 11 or 12, 5 probably makes the most sense.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine if that although if that game really blows up, the fact that we take number 5 is probably not going to help us. But let's see who they play week 16. Haven't looked at that.
Who, the Saints or the guy on team 5?
The Saints. Getting to the final, they play the Dolphins. That's
going to be a tough game.
I still like 4 the best, but I have, number 1 isn't correlated, but
could be a dart throw, could be high upside.
I really like that if he makes it.
I don't own a lot of them. I'm fine with it if we do it.
I don't either, and it's one of those ones that as he fell down the board, you're like, yeah, he's falling for a reason. You're falling for a reason. He's falling for a reason. But at a certain point,
full round of value right now.
If he's on the field, and then he was off for a year with injury, and then he was in a situation where everyone was saying he's not motivated. He's not motivated. He wants out. He wants out. Well, now he's out, and then he just went. We were talking about AJ Green.
You just let Henry.
I think we need to get more of him. So I think 2 or 7.
He had 114 targets last year.
Yeah, and he looked awful on all of them, but
he did. Henry fell into our trap. We never wanted
him. What team is Henry, by the way?
Team 10. The team is like him.
Oh, all right. Let me look at Henry's team. Barkley, Diggs, Lamb, Evans, Higgins.
Good. I like it, actually. I like
Goddard, Higbee. I wouldn't have taken Ingram there. Carter. Yeah, decent team. Scoop some value. I like Crowder. I don't get. Oh, Devontae Booker is the handcuff. All right.
We're on deck here. For me, it's either 7, 8, or 9. Maybe 3. I'm okay with any of those.
All right, coin time. The semifinals are number 2 and number 7. The higher number is always heads. Number 2 advances. Who did you say the other 2 were? 8 and 9?
It was 3, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, so let's just do 3 and 8 in the other semis. 8. So either Slayton or Pringle. You okay with either one?
I would not like Pringle here. I don't think he makes sense for the team. Slayton makes more sense.
So we got to give someone else a chance. All right, so then we'll just take Slayton. He advanced. All right, that's it. Giants, Bears stacked up. The Saints stacked up. We probably should have taken Dan Arnold. Damn it. It's too late. I should have replaced Pringle with Arnold and flipped for
That's
Arnold.
Right. I thought you were flipping. I didn't know you were flipping for Pringle. But it was either Arnold, Slayton, or Tony there for me.
Well, if our biggest disagreement is round 18, Billy, I think it's another successful draft for you and I.
And at the end of the day, like, we have Mark Andrews and Noah Fant. Like, I'm fine at tight end with those 2.
Yeah. I think you know what? I forgot about Arnold because I got tired and I'm ready to go to bed for a quick nap. Indian food and an hour and a half of sitting here yapping, and I'm ready for a little nap. Billy, I want to wish you happy Father's Day.
You as well, buddy.
Appreciate you, as you well know, and want to thank our friends over at the FFPC. Billy and I are enjoying the daylights out of this tournament. If you like this podcast and you want to go and get in one, or any best ball, or a dynasty league, or a season-long league, play the football guys, and $350 can win you $500,000. You think you got what it takes to compete against the best? Go to myffpc.com, sign up today. Well, Billy, I will see you. Have a happy Father's Day, and that is going to do it.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.
Wait. We got to talk about the Rotoviz guys again. We got to look at that team.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's take a look at it.
All right. So we got Waller, Ridley, Pitts, which is interesting. DJ Moore. I'm not in favor of Lamar Jackson in the fifth. He falls to the sixth round enough that I just feel like you're giving away value there. He might not have in this draft, but that's where having a draft quote plan. Sutton in the sixth is again a round or two earlier. Chenault round or two earlier. I know they like Moss. Matt Ryan 2 or 3 rounds earlier. So, I heard Sean Siegel say this, that, if you have players rated higher, just go get them. And that makes sense, right? But if you're doing that every round, you better be right. Your rankings better be right, because if they're not, you're bleeding value throughout the whole draft. I still believe in value. I still believe in taking discounts at ADP. I love Zach. I love Calm. I don't even need to look at the rest of the draft. I mean, they did take some decent 0 RB candidates, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like Lindsay. I like Penny. I like Dylan. I like Moss. I think they all give you a floor, but I'm not seeing the ceiling. And I guess what you're counting on is that your quarterback, your 2 tight ends, and your wide receivers are going to win this for you. To me, ideally, with when I do 0 running back, I'm looking to get a little lucky and get, I want some guys like Moss who will give me 8 to 10 points a week. Billy, I'm just jammering on. Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
I'm a firm believer in getting a solid running back in the beginning. I like more modified 0 running back, 0 wide receiver, to where you can rely on that, 15 to 20 points a week from that one given running back. Like, to have Zach Moss as my running back 1, I honestly prefer Jamal Williams over Zach Moss. I just think that I'm just not crazy about looking at my running back depth here and saying my running back 1 is Zach Moss. To me, the upside just isn't there. And honestly,
he's
I think
not even the number 1 running back on his own team. And you can argue that there's a chance he's not the number 2 running back.
Yeah, and I think that, just looking at their build overall, I don't know. I think Michael Thomas has as much upside as Calvin Ridley does. I think, although I do have Calvin Ridley projected as my wide receiver 1 for the year after the Julio trade, I just think that Michael Thomas, if Winston wins this job, I think has just as much upside. And then, you look at tight ends here and say, okay, well, he drafted a tight end early. I almost like our combination of Andrews and Fant just as much, if not more, than the Waller and Pitts combination, just because of the rookie factor. And you and I have both talked about this on several podcasts. Is I think Hurst is going to be more involved than people want to admit. So for me, I can't say the guy's full name. I call him Albert OK, but A-OK isn't on the field as much as Hayden Hurst is. So for me, Noah Fant is going to be just as profitable in round 7 as Kyle Pitts is in round 3.
Well, I mean, I get the unicorn factor, but for me, in a bubble, Kyle Pitts in the 3rd is a little early for me. But when you've already got Waller, I don't see how you pass on DeAndre Swift there. I know that one of them, I'm pretty sure that Zach likes from last night, likes DeAndre Swift. And to me, again, it's kind of boutique-y, right? I feel kind of like, I've worked for companies and they were boutique brands, right? That they had a niche, and it was, and the people that like that niche, and it can work. I mean, the numbers, it's not like they're running against the numbers. They believe they have numbers that justify everything they're doing. But to me, passing on DeAndre Swift for a rookie tight end as your number 2 tight end, it just feels a little boutique-y to me, Billy.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at it and saying, hey, as a 0 running back build, you just passed on Michael Thomas and Allen Robinson, who are for sure wide receiver 1/top tier wide receiver 2s, for Kyle Pitts, who is kind of a question mark in my opinion. I mean, he may as well be a tight end 1, but he also could be a tight end 2 or tight end 3. So there's a bit of uncertainty there, and you're going to pass on that type of talent at that position when you already have the number 2 tight end in football right now in Darren Waller. To me, I wouldn't have done it. It's not my style, but to each their own. And they built around it. It's not my style. I'm not going to knock it, but everyone has their own way of doing things.
I mean, to me, again, bleeding value in the name of, well, our ratings have these guys higher. If you're doing that every round, how many of those guys could they have gotten by waiting, right? Moss in the 8th, Chenault in the 7th. It's almost like, to me,
Sutton in the 6th.
It's to me, Lamar in the 5th. It's almost drafting in fear a little bit, because last night they got the hell sniped out of them. And, and so today it kind of seems like, well, we're just going to get our guys. And again,
and I'm fine doing that. I'm fine saying, hey,
they could win this. It's a plan. It could win. But to me, it's not my style, like Billy was saying. Go ahead, Billy.
I just want to take a look at the board. Who are your top 3 favorite teams here?
I didn't even look at the other teams. So let's do what we did last time. We were going to get out of here. But let's do team 1. Why don't you take team 1?
I like the first 3 start. I love the DK Dobbins. I think Dobbins went a little early. But hey, get your guy. I think he's a little running back heavy, but the wide receivers he picked in 10, 11, 12, and 13 are all on my list. So I really like his upside there. And then he hit the tight end is a major question mark. I like David Njoku.
A question mark or a hot disaster?
A hot disaster, I think, is a little bit more in is the correct word here.
I'm looking at the team. I'm looking at the team. And I'm saying, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. And then I get down to tight, and I'm like, why isn't this looking bad? And basically, then I see tight end, and I go, oh, well, that's why the rest didn't look so bad.
Yeah, the tight end position's a little nasty. I would have. He was probably relying on getting Gronkowski there on the 12 turn. It didn't happen, and so he modified. But I like the rest of the team, but tight end's kind of scary.
I feel like he gave up a little too much value, taking Josh Allen, at 412, Chase at 5'1". I know that's about where they're going, but Edmonds and Robinson I don't get going 6 running backs. We talked about it at the time. Where that team went downhill was taking Fournette and Ronald Jones instead of Irv Smith and Gesicki.
Yep, I agree.
All right, team 2.
Team 2 here. I like to start. I like the Kelsey through the Godwin picks. Trey Sermon, we've already talked about it being a little early. I'm not a big DJ Chark fan. I'd rather wait and get Marvin Jones in the double-digit rounds. Tannehill, oh my gosh. After getting him in round 17 and 18, I just can't pull the trigger here in round 8. And I know FBG versus Bestball is different, but even in Bestball, he was going in round 13. But I had said, and you even called it out earlier, I knew he was going to climb to round 8, 9 after the Julio signing, but I just can't pull the trigger. Tom Brady, I think, is a good pick. It doesn't really he gets the Godwin stack.
Tannehill's correlated to A.J. Brown. Brady's correlated to
Godwin. Yeah. So I like the correlations there. And then I do like his round 10, 11 running backs here. Gronkowski as well with the Brady pick. I think this team was built well. I like it. I just have a little bit of question marks with adding like Chuba there. To me is just kind of more of a complete upside pick, which I'm fine with this build. I like team 2 is what I'm trying to say.
I like it, but it's really weak at running back. Mixon has some questions. Sermon has a lot of questions. Harris has questions. David Johnson. So there's only 5 running backs, but at least 3 of them have questions. And that's without us even looking at bye weeks. So to me, that's the weakness, but I think it's a B+ team.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid team. I agree. Running back is a weakness here.
Team 3.
Team 3, I like Dalvin Cook. Adams is slipping still as we continue to see the fall. Justin Jefferson in round 3 is good value. Cooper Kupp, I'm not crazy about, but okay, I'm fine with it. Josh Jacobs in 5, I'm like it. Wilson, I like, but I don't really see any correlation there. I would have probably waited on quarterback. Juju, I like as well. Irv Smith and Ferkster as tight end. I like Mooney there. Darrell Henderson. Overall, I like this pick. I'm not a Larry Roundtree fan. I don't think he's going to see the field much, or a Dwayne Eskridge fan really that much. I am not crazy about the second half of the draft. I like the first half of the draft.
Yeah, and 3 quarterbacks when you've invested so much capital in Wilson and in Rodgers, it's a little much.
Team 4.
All right. Yep. You start on team 4 while I reply to this text.
Let me take just a quick scan here. I think running back, of course, is his weakness. He went modified 0 running back here. I like the fact that he actually started with the top 2 running back. I love DeAndre Hopkins and Keenan Allen there. Kyler Murray. I'm just not a big early running back or quarterback guy, but I understand why he went for it for the upside. Tyler Lockett, Logan Thomas, Odell Beckham, Will Fuller. I like all of his first 8 picks. I think that Elijah Moore for me, I wouldn't have selected there, nor would I probably have taken Jared Cook, but it stacks with Keenan Allen, so it makes sense. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I just think this team is going to run into a week in, week out issue at running back.
Agreed. Looking at our team, just real quickly, we've done the team 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs. All of them are pretty good. So I think very solid running backs. Wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And good, Michael Thomas mid-3rd, Kenny Golladay 6, Brown, Cooks, Brown, very solid, not great, but very solid. We talked about our tight ends, and the weakness of this team is quarterback. It's by design. We're counting on the Saints. So they talk about fragility and building fragility. So if someone said to us, well, your quarterbacks aren't very good, yeah, but we built a great squad that hinges upon these quarterbacks. And if they outplay their ADP, this is going to be a very good team. And if not, we're going to lose, but we're going to lose for the reason we thought we might lose.
Yeah, quarterback's definitely a concern in our team. Quite frankly, our second weakness, I think, is, of course, wide receiver, but I like the upside we have at the position.
I think we're fine at wide receiver. I mean, we only need 2 a week. Thomas, Golladay, I both think, Cook, the mid, I think we got enough. Because we got 3 really good giant receivers. I think we're going to get 1 every week out of them, right? Like, what's the chances of not getting 1 out of those 3? And then, we need Michael Thomas to deliver week in, week out. And then you need one of Cooks, Brown, and Marquise. Traquan, I would disagree on our wide receivers, but maybe I'm crazy. Team
Biased is the word.
Biased. Team 7.
Team 7, Zeke, Kittle, Allen Robinson, Sanders. I like to start. Dak with the Zeke stack. I like it. Kareem Hunt. I like Kareem Hunt. I also like Debo and Gallup. I like the continuation of the Dallas stack. Trey Lance, a little early for me. I like Jarvis Landry, Naheem Hines, Corey Davis. I also like Tariq Cohen here as well. I like this team. I like Hayden Hurst in round 14. We were getting him, though, in round 17 and 18. I think people are starting to catch on with Hayden Hurst and his involvement in this offense. Mo Alley Cox, Mr. Gigantor himself, I'm not too crazy about, but I understand the need of a third tight end here. Hamler and Powell, I'm not a Powell fan. I would never select him. Hamler, I think, is kind of the same boat for me. I just wouldn't pick him. I like it. I'm going to give it a B-.
Yeah, about where I have him. Teammate, I'll take Eckler, Jones, three wide receivers, Gaskin. That's a good solid start. I don't know that I would have went back-to-back quarterbacks there and then taking a third. Again, I that's not for me. Samuel, Connor, Jonnu, Hooper. I'm not a Hooper fan, especially there. Ebron, and that's where taking Stafford hurts you. If you had taken a tight end instead of Stafford, you're looking a lot better. Tight ends a weakness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 7 wide receivers. One of them Sanders. One of them Aguilar. I'm going to give this team a C. I like the start, but I don't like how they crafted rounds 7 through 18. Billy.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat here. I think I would have taken probably would have taken Higbee over Hurst there. I just think to secure that tight end position a little bit more, especially if you were planning on taking Stafford for the next turn, and you could have paired the two together. I just think that correlation makes more sense to me.
Team 9, Tyreek, Gibson, Swift. I love that start, but then you reach for ATN a bit, and then Javonte. I mean, it's great, but that means you're going to be weaker at wide receiver. You come back with 2 wide receivers I don't like all that much. They're young though, so he's got a ton of youth on this team. More than I'm comfortable with. I mean, if you look at it, Gibson second year, Swift second year, Etienne first year, Javonte first year, Devonta first year, Judy second year, Waddle first year, Rondell Moore first year, Terrace Marshall first year, Zach Wilson first year, Gainwell first year.
Pat Freiermuth first year, Zach Wilson first year, Kane Gainwell this is a dynasty build. This is not for me a best ball build.
Yeah, just no. 10. You want to take Billy?
Yeah, I actually really like Henry's start here. I'm not a big Saquon fan, but at 10, I'll take him all day. Diggs, CD, Mike Evans, T. Higgins. Those are all wide receivers that we like in those ranges. I like the Dallas Goedert and Tyler Higbee. Double up here. Michael Carter is another player that I like in this round. With those 2 tight ends, I wouldn't have taken Ingram here, but that's probably the one knock I have on the drafts so far. The 2 rookie quarterbacks has me concerned because news out of camp today is that Trevor Lawrence is actually battling right now with why am I blanking on his name? What's the stash? He shaved it.
Minshew.
Minshew. So Minshew's actually battling Trevor Lawrence right now for week 1 start was the news out of OTAs today. I'm not buying it. You don't select the player 0-1, but at the end of the day, you have Justin Fields, who right now they're saying Andy Dalton's the starter. I like the fact that he took a third quarterback to kind of balance that out. So Derek Carr there being picked, I think helps. I like the Kenyon Drake pick. You sniped us. Actually, we were actually hoping he'd fall there. Singletary and Coleman, I think, are going to have a lot of involvement. People are underestimating them. I actually like Team 10's build here altogether.
Yeah, I would give it a B+.
Yeah, I like it.
Team 11, Akers, Chubb. I mean, again, just the way that I build teams, I don't want to have 2 running backs who don't catch a lot of passes on the same team in the first and second round. I think you can justify taking either one of those guys. It's not my favorite to take both. Hawkinson, good, right where he took him. Cooper, Deontay, 3, 4, 5. There's 7 wide receivers, but only 3 in the first 10 rounds. Parker and Hilton, age, Perriman and Williams, I get that. Tua, Deshaun Watson, and Darnold. I mean, I'm leaning towards this being a train wreck.
I'm not crazy about the draft. There's a lot of question marks. I like it, I think, a little bit more than you do, but I just don't think it's gonna play out in his favor.
And they passed on Jonathan Taylor to take Cam Akers. Go ahead with Team 12.
Yeah, Team 12 was probably licking their chops when they saw Jonathan Taylor fall to them at 12. It's the latest I've seen him fall. I personally would have taken Nick Chubb or Gibson there on the turn instead of Najee. I also don't like an early quarterback, but I like the rest
How
of the
about
build.
two early quarterbacks?
Yeah, there's two fairly early
And they're
ones.
correlated for week 17, which means if you get to the championship, you really only have whoever does best in that one game. You can't have both.
Yeah,
So
and then I think that he's a little weak at tight end. I'm not a big Adam Trotman fan. I think Everett has some question marks. Komet I like more than most, but I think also comes with some question marks. I just think pretty much from like pick 11 down to 18, I think there's some question marks.
I like this team a little better than you do. I like Chase Claypool a lot. I think Boyd's going to be solid. I think it's got some explosion. I think this is a top 6-7 team. Well, I think it's like a 3-8 team, 3-7. I don't see it really having much chance at the championship unless Mahomes just goes completely bonkers. But you don't have him correlated with anyone other than Darrell Williams. So you take Mike Williams instead of Mecole Hardman. Joe Burrow's not is correlated with Tyler Boyd, but yeah, So this time I think we're really going to go, Billy. I think that does it. We reviewed the board. Any last words? This Friday, what are we doing on your pod?
Yeah, so this Friday, everybody tune in to the Fantasy Data live stream. That's at Fantasy Data NFL. Todd and I are going to be drafting an FBG team here this Friday, not a best ball team, but we will be tuning in as at 5:30, I believe, 5:30 FBG here Friday on the Fantasy Data live stream with the Fantasy Football Fanalists podcast. Follow us on Fantasy Data. Follow me at FF Fanalist or FF Muzio. I want to thank Todd, as always, for having me on the Run of Daylight pod and to be drafting with him here. So, Todd, thank you, and look forward to drafting with you again on Friday, buddy.
You got it. And then on Thursday this week, I'm pretty sure I still have TJ Hernandez coming on, and that should be a good one as well. That's going to do it, folks. This time we're really leaving, not staying for another 10 minutes. We'll see you soon.